Jack, we're back in New York City, but not too long ago. Where were we?
Yeehaw! We were in Austin, Gino, and what a time it was. A great week, and we did some pretty cool stuff.
Yeah, we kicked off our first ever Agency City tour, and we visited 5 agencies, Jack. Bakery, McGarrett Jesse, Preacher, Callan, and of course, GSD&M.
Yeah, small agencies, bigger agencies, agencies that have only been around for a couple years, agencies that have been around for decades. And I'm really excited about what you're going to see by having all this content come out in the same week. Because what you'll find is that everyone has a little bit of a different opinion on what Austin means, both culturally and in the advertising industry. But also, there's some interesting through lines that, regardless of what agency you're working at, can apply to everyone. So excited about it. And some crazy stuff happens as well.
Yeah, let's figure out what it's like to work in advertising in Austin. Kick it, Ellie. This is awesome here, Jack. We are at the Blind Tiger, which is also a part of Bakery, the ad agency here based in Austin. Who are we talking here with today?
Hache. My name is Hache Hernandez. I'm a creative director here.
Creative director, amazing.
Micky, founder, chief creative.
Badass.
And behind the bar, we have a special guest as well.
I'm Andrea. I'm the barista and the bartender.
Oh my.
Chief Vibes Officer.
The most
Yeah,
important
pretty
person in the operation, for sure, yeah.
And let's do a drink check. What's everybody sipping on right now?
I don't know what Hache is drinking. I'm drinking the mango helado, which is like a mango icy with a lot of booze in it.
Can we get a fact check on that? Is this correct?
Correct. There's also tahini on top.
And some tahini. Are you drinking the same thing?
I'm drinking a Tiger Paw, which is kind of like, it has rum and tamarind syrup and the fun stuff, basically.
It's all the good stuff. And then a couple specialty cocktails, Gino.
That's right.
And I would be remiss if I didn't mention the attention to detail. I'm drinking the 720, which I've been informed is the penal code in the state of Illinois for breaking and entering.
That is incredible, Jack. They made that for us, and I'm sipping on the Lilac Village from Lombard, Illinois. Jack and I, that's where we're from, the Lilac Village here, which is got a little gin, lemon, lavender. It's got a nice punch to it, if you will. But really excited to be here. This is our first visit in Austin. The goal is to figure out what is it like to work in advertising within Austin, and then specifically here at Bakery. So we've got a good crew here to answer some of those questions. But off the top, Austin, as a city, how would you describe the advertising scene here compared to New York, Chicago, LA? What's the vibe in Austin for advertising?
I mean, I can say, when I started the agency about 15 years ago, I think it was a pretty decent environment for advertising here. You had big agencies like GSD&M, and you had like indies that have been here for a good amount of time, like McGarrett Jesse, and it was a very established environment, and it had kind of the big players in it for the city, but that was kind of it. There wasn't a ton of diversity in terms of the agencies that you had here. And then fast forward to today, and I think like the last 3 small agency of the year awards from Ad Age or something like that, like the Southwest, it's all Austin, right? Like that's winning them. You have Callan, you have us, you have Preacher, Eric and Coleman. You have all these like, I would say newer players that are, I would say 4 years, 8 years. Like we've been 15. We're one of the older kids in the indie game, but now it's becoming really interesting, right? Like you got a lot of people flocking from all other places to come to Austin to work in one of these indie agencies, and it's just creating a better environment overall.
Yeah. So you guys, when did Bakery establish in Austin?
2010. Me as a 27-year-old with a few other friends that were like sub 30, not knowing what we were doing at all, and I would say that version of the agency, for sure, just like went broke and failed miserably, and like this is sort of the like version 2. Where I kind of brought in people that knew what they were doing, that started to help us become the organization we are today, you know. And so yeah, and you know, in terms of Austin, I mean, Hache is somebody who like has been to a lot of different places for agencies and lived here for a while. We worked together at the agency I worked in before I started bakery, and Hache then left and did a bunch of VML, Leo stuff and in different places, and then came back. I don't know if you want to talk about Austin.
Yeah. So you were just in Chicago for a stint?
No, I basically am from Mexico City.
Okay.
I started my career there, and then I moved here to Austin, like on 2012. And then here I was working at this company, Latinworks, and then I started moving to the general market, BML in Kansas City, and then I moved to BML Miami, and then I moved to Chicago, and finally I basically I arrived here in Austin, which is I did kind of like a circle. So it was a really interesting ride. I mean, and I kind of understand a little bit more living in different cities kind of like open your mind. Like now, for instance, when I see Ted Lasso, right, and then living in Kansas, I was like, okay, this is Ted Lasso. I understand why he reacts like that or something like that, which is awesome.
Gotcha. So you've had a couple different city experiences working in advertising. Like, what's the main takeaway of Austin? How are the vibes different here? Whether it's like working at the agency or like the competition out here, or how do the brands interact with Austin? Like, what are your thoughts on the city for advertising as a hub?
Yeah, I think in terms of the city, it's a great city because you have like, if you are into films, I mean, this is a great scene. This is a great part to be there. Music, which is super important for me. I mean, everything is around music here. So yeah, I think and also the energy. It's like I can feel the young vibe, even in this agency, because I basically moved from Chicago 3 months ago. I really like that. I think I can see the hungry that these people have in this building.
I have a question. Why do you think Austin has drawn so many young people and so much talent? And like you just have seen, I think we see it from the outside looking in. I know a lot of people that have moved to Austin. Why do you think that's been the case over the last 15, 20 years?
Do you want to help us with this question, Andrea? Because like you're the bartender, so like people tell you their deepest and darkest secrets. And
Deepest and darkest secrets of
Why do
moving
you
to
think-
Austin.
Yeah, why do you think people are moving to Austin for advertising and creative?
I think it's a very young city, so I think that appeals to a lot of people, and especially a lot of young creatives, and especially if they're young in their careers, it might be a little bit more of a entering point for them to get into the industry because it's smaller and it's maybe tougher to crack a place like New York or Los Angeles or Chicago. So they're more so drawn to here, and they're getting a lot of outside of work interactions just in the city. Like, it's just a young city, and I think that's really is what it is attracting them.
Affordability, like how is it
Yes.
like living here? Like,
It's
is
not
it
affordable.
Not affordable.
No, not anymore.
It was though.
It was. Yeah. It I think like COVID like exploded everything here. Yeah, the affordability went away. You know, there's a lot of like big bills right now that people are voting on that are based on like housing taxes and stuff like that. And so yeah, I think it's a big topic here right now that it's gotten coastal, you know, in terms of the cost of living.
How do you deal with like the influx and the change in the culture and still stay true to bakery?
I mean, it's a great question. I think that
Good question, Gino. That's a great question.
I think, you know, one thing that I can say is like the breed of newer agencies here are not like, we're Texan in a way that like, I mean, most of the people, you talk about Preacher, you know, Rob Baer is born and bred Texan, you know. I feel like I'm an adopted Texan kid, you know, and you have that energy for sure. Like you you feel like Texas is home, but I don't think that we make Texas all of our identity, and it helps us a lot in terms of integrating with other cultures that are coming in. I mean, I'm not even American, right? So like when I come in and I'm like, I can have someone like Hache come in, I have someone like Andrea come in, or half of a team. Like they all have different backstories, and they come from different places, and I think that that's what makes the indie scene so interesting today. Is like we're having that, I don't know, influx of different points of views, and just different voices coming through, and I think that's what makes up the interesting differentiator for the agencies. It's not like, oh, you're from Texas, so that's the thing, right? Like I think that kind of stopped with like the whole Portland Wyden moment, where it's like they're from Portland, right? And like that was a whole big thing, right? And Crispin's like from Boulder, and like whatever. Like I think that here none of us are like necessarily riding around in horses in the building, although like I mean that would be kind of cool, to be honest, yeah. But yeah, so hopefully that answers your question.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm just curious then, like, about Austin as a city. We'll get into bakery. Like, what are people doing, like, on the weekends after work? Are they going, like, I would go over here, back to you. Like, what is the fun after work? Or is it all work, which is fine, too?
Well, I mean, there's definitely Barton, for sure. A lot of our restaurants are starting to get Michelin stars, so people are definitely always going out to eat. There's always new restaurants opening, bar hopping for sure. There's a lot of art around town. There's art festivals, there's vintage shopping. There's a lot going on right now, which I think is another reason why people want to live here and move here. Just so much to do.
Yeah, and you have festivals like crazy here, right? You have a festival for everything. You have, ACL Festival, which is, same family as Lollapalooza. You have that once a year, but you also have South by Southwest, one of the biggest festivals in the world that happens here. You have Moonlight, which is a comedy festival. Now we have like Formula One and MotoGP that happens here. It's almost like it keeps growing. I mean, I've been here 20 years. I haven't been able to do half of the things that happen here because there's so much stuff every weekend, every weekday. It's pretty intense. Like for a city, it's not a small city by any means, but like for a city of this size, the amount of stuff to do, I've never seen anywhere else.
Yeah. What were you gonna say, Jack?
I think I'm very curious because there's this big push, and even when we were coming out here, you hear people say like, keep Austin weird.
Yeah.
And I think there's inherently, it's tough because you want the city to continue to grow, and you want like commerce to grow, and you want business to do well. But then it feels like that is also leaned up against this idea of like maintaining a certain kind of identity and culture. Do you see that as like, even as like brands or like brand partners are entering into the Austin market or are growing within the Austin market, this like shift of culture versus like the difficulty of trying to maintain what makes Austin unique? I'm just really curious about like the perspective of someone who's been here for a while and is running a creative agency here.
I think it's something that honestly hasn't changed. What's changed is the city's gotten bigger. So when before it might have just been like one big pocket, where it's just like, okay, everything is this Austin, keep Austin weird, vibe, and there was very little outside of that, right? And then over the years, as it's grown, there's like different tribes and like pockets that get created. And they've all grown, right? So now it's like the pie just got bigger for every slice. So now the Keep Austin Weird crowd, that's still very much alive. You just have to know where to go. And we'd love to take you guys to some of those places, but like those places are still very much around. Like same places when I moved here in 2005, like a lot of those places are still around. Some are not, but some of those places are still around. And then you have all these new types of places, and some I have no interest in going to whatsoever. And then others I'm like, oh, I never thought I would see that in Austin. I'd love to go, right? I've become like a huge fan of, for example, of Formula One, which is something that I didn't follow when I first got in here, or anything like that. And now it's like, you got to be there every year. It's really, it's a fun time, but it's very different than going to like the east side and going to a little bar, that like there's only 12 other people. It's the same 12 people that go every weekend, and it's like, it's a great kind of family vibe. So it just gives you more more things to do, more scenes, right? To approach, which you guys should know. Living in New York, I'm from Chicago. You got to know that you have that. So.
Yeah, absolutely. So so we're getting a good feel for Austin here. We walked around the agency. We had a quick tour, and this place is beautiful. It's super fun. We're in a bar right now. I took some notes from our walk of things that I thought was interesting that might be differentiators for bakery, and we'll just have a conversation, or if there's anything that's incorrect, you let me know, or there's add-ons to as well. I wrote down that you actually own the building, which I think is a differentiator. Everyone that starts here as an employee gets custom Nike shoes and Funko Pops. We'll pause right there with those two. Are these true?
Yeah, they absolutely true. I would say the Funko Pops are like a couple of years old. Like, we started doing that when we moved into this building about 2.5 years ago, and we just have like a whole gallery wall of anybody that works here. They get kind of their visage on the wall. It's cool, and when they leave, they get to like kind of rip their Funko off and take it with them, and it's kind of their memento of their time here. Anybody for a long time, because we're a long time Nike agency, and so for a long time if you start working here, you get a custom pair of Nikes. Still to this day, I don't know how scalable that is, but I design each pair. So
and you design
each pair.
And then do you do homework? Like,
yeah.
For Jack, it's like, he's got a big forehead, so we know that. He's got some weird hobbies, like doesn't eat seafood. Like, are you gonna like find this stuff out?
Very much so, yeah. Like, I try to like creep a little bit and figure out like who these people are, and just kind of embody their persona. And I can tell like my track record's decent. It's not great.
Has
like
anybody been like, what the hell is that?
100%. Like, and you can tell like the folks that like you get them the shoes and you never see them wear them ever. You're like, okay, either they love them and they're like grailing them and they're putting them high up, or they threw them out on day one. And then but I would say like 60% of people you see them regularly. Rocking the.
What did you?
sneaks.
What were your sneakers? Did you get a Funko Pop?
I just got my sneakers. I love them. The only thing that probably if I can complain, it's just
it's okay. Yeah,
it's just the kerning of my name.
The kerning.
The kerning. Hache, but they are comfy.
You got to talk to Nike about that. That's
but
I didn't
that's
stitch.
just
I
a little
didn't
detail.
hand stitch them. But
of course.
But I love them.
Yeah. Hache, and so how long ago did you start?
Like 3 months ago.
I'm curious when you started, what did people tell you about like starting at bakery?
Because I used to live here and I have some friends working here. Actually, my previous partner works here, so he was telling me about the beauty of this independent agency. Like, I am super grateful with all the agencies that I have worked with, and I think it's important for a creative just to go and jump and know different processes, different kind of agencies or something like that. I think it's super important. But then the other side is just like some places are big and there are many layers. The bureaucracy is huge or something like that. And here you find a place that you feel more comfy. You know what I mean? There is no layers. It feels more horizontal in a good way. This feels like a family, which is nice. And you can tell that people really care about the work. And also with the relationship with the client is a little bit different because it feels like a family here. You know what I mean? Like, we are basically like everything works for the best work possible.
Mm-hmm. Totally.
Other notes that I wrote down here. You guys have a 3D printer, and you also hire product designers. Is this accurate of an answer? Yeah. So I know art directors, copywriters, strategists. We have a bartender back here, a barista back here. You also have product designers. Run me through that decision. How that works.
The agency's sort of mantra is make things people want, and the making of things is actually very active in that statement, right? We for a very long time, I would say halfway through the life of the agency, we decided that we didn't want to just take products that were handed to us and do go-to-market strategy on it and bring them to shelf or whatever. We wanted to actually co-create with our clients. And I remember at the time, a lot of people I knew, mentors and everything, just told me, stupid, don't do that. Like, no one's gonna let you into those rooms, no one's gonna, and I think they were right, because not a lot of agencies do this, if any, really. And I think, again, a lot of the things that have made what we do possible here is that, like, I think we've just been dumb enough to ask permission, and sometimes not even ask permission, just do something.
What are some of those things then that you're like designing?
Well, like, we've designed shoes with Nike. We've designed like whiskey and other products, other spirits with Diageo. Some of them are on the bar. We've designed toys, video games. Like, we've designed almost any type of product at this point that you can think of, and it's a really cool, like, the amount of insight you gain from being part of that inception process is, I think, invaluable. And I think it gives you an angle when you're going to market with something where it's your baby at that point. Like, you helped create this. It's not just sort of like, put a strategy page on it, do this, whatever, blah, blah, put a hashtag on your social strategy. You're very invested in what you're doing, but you've also built a lot of the marketing into the product if you know what you're doing, right? So you're hooking into a lot of things that you've already tried to have the foresight, like, hey, this claim or this design aspect or this packaging aspect is going to be important for us, and so it's a big part of when you take it to market. And so, yeah, we take huge pride in doing that, and we prototype a ton here, which is why we have 3D printers. We have a whole room that's based, a whole like space in our office that's just for those folks to go in there and be like Dexter's lab, and do all sorts of stuff. And like, they have set fires in that room many times. Yeah, just like doing all, like, just soldering things, and sometimes we know what we're doing, sometimes we don't. And but a lot of cool stuff comes from it.
Yeah, I'm curious on your thoughts on this. Do you think that there's something to being in Texas, that this thought of like making it in-house, making it yourself? These shirts are made in Austin, Texas, that Gino and I are wearing. I feel like there is like this affinity within Texas of like, we're gonna drink Shiner Bock beer in Texas, and it's gonna, we're gonna do things and create it here and use and have a passion and a pride and loyalty to it. Do you think that plays into it at all?
I hadn't really thought of that. Now you're gonna make me like go in and do some meditating.
Insight, insight.
Yeah,
Mickey.
yeah.
That's a Jack special.
Yeah, but potentially you're right. That the environment here, I think it does lend itself to, hey, just make it your own. Make it, don't do the thing that everybody else is doing. Go by your own compass a little bit, as corny as that might sound, but it is a very Texan thing, like 100%. That's where cowboys come from, right? Like, right. So it's sort of like, there's a little bit of that, and I think it's also in the people, right? So even the people that some of the people that are from here for sure have that, but then even the people that are moving here, I think they're moving here because they have something in them that aligns, and they're just like, yeah. Because then you have the other people that you're like, hey, you're gonna have to work in-house over here in Austin, you have to move to Texas, and they're just like, I'm not doing that, and so maybe those folks might not have that like same kind of spark in them to do that kind of thing, but yeah, it's a good point. I'm going to think on it.
Hey, listen, this is what I do. This is what we do. We bounce off each other.
Other things that I saw as well, there is a massage room. You have somebody come in, a massage therapist, every couple weeks. They have a meditation room. We went in there and we disturbed somebody's meditation, so sorry to that employee, whoever that was. Senior copywriter.
We took videos.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
meditating.
Lovely.
Yeah,
that's
just disrupted it.
Yeah.
And I told Ellie, I'm like, just film them.
Just film them.
Yeah, and say some noises and like.
Why is this called the Blind Tiger? This bar that we're in right now.
We found out, like, when we were trying to name this place, that I'll take a step back. So the tiger is kind of, you'll see a lot of tigers around here. Mm-hmm. It's not something that we. Yep, I know everything.
Watch on YouTube.
There's a lot of tigers everywhere in bakery, right? And a lot of like tiger, callbacks, And it's because several years ago, the creative team here they did an exercise when we were rebranding the agency, and they were like, what's the agency's spirit animal or whatever, and they came up with the tiger for a few reasons. The agency is 2010, that's the year of the tiger, but also they did a callback to Dominicans, because Dominicans call each other tigre, the way that Mexicans call each other way. You say tigre like 80,000 times in a sentence.
It's like dude.
Yeah, it's like saying dude, over there. And so tigre is like a big thing, and so they kind of tied those things together, and there was a few other reasons, and they had a whole big cool presentation of saying like why the tiger is, and then it stuck weirdly, and people just kind of like use it for even like internal sports teams and like stuff like that we do here. It's like Bakery Tigers and like do whatever. So the Tigers stuck, right? And then the funny part was when we were trying to name the bar, they found out that during Prohibition, the first speakeasies weren't actually called speakeasies; they were called blind tigers. Very interesting. Like they would literally label that as a business, and they would put that up as like a signal to say like, hey, this place sells booze, on the down low. And so then we were like, well, that's obvious, so we have to call it that. And
But we don't sell booze.
we don't sell booze
Legal reasons.
If the permitting commission in Texas is listening, we do not sell booze. We give it away.
That's right. That's right.
To everyone.
Yes,
We
thank
just
you
give
for
it away.
saying that.
Disclaimer there.
Yeah.
We'll get the legal disclaimer.
Yeah.
That'll be great.
It is so cool. It's like we're right when you walk into the agency, it's the first thing you see is this bar, and it's incredible.
It's unlike any other reception area I've seen.
We kind of stole it from Diageo. Again, another client we've been working with for a long time, and if you go to any of their offices, their offices are built. I mean, it makes sense for Diageo, right? But their offices are built around a massive bar that's always at the center. It's like the heart of any of their offices that you go to, right? And we have a good amount of spirits and beer clients and things like that, and we have a lot of experience in that. And we thought, hey, we that's a great thing. Like, why have a lobby? Like, why have just like an empty space with seats? And it's like, sit here and wait. You don't have to wait that long, to see somebody at bakery. So it's sort of like, well, why not sit and get a beer, or get a drink or whatever. And this is the second office that we've had our lobby be a bar. And it works out for us.
You can never go back. I mean, it's not like you can go back to like having a regular lobby at some point.
So I want to know some bar facts here. How many, I see a margarita machine, I see an espresso machine. Like, what else do we have here? Any cool amenities, like drinks, custom things? Who's ordering the most coffees? And I want to give the mic to you because you've seen probably the most being behind the bar. Just some fun takeaways from being behind the bar. What do you got for us?
You want to know who drinks the most?
Yeah, just give me. Yeah, just
all right.
Facts. What do you have on the mic here? This is your time.
Well, I mean, I think the espresso machine is definitely more unique than other places that have even just a regular bar, because they don't also do coffee. So that gets used a lot.
People are doing the espresso martinis nowadays.
Yeah, they
Seems
are.
like that's big.
A couple times I make an espresso martini.
When a client, if you have a client come in, what's their reaction to seeing this whole setup? Are they usually thrown off?
A little bit, yeah. People are curious if they're in the right building sometimes, and sometimes they'll ask they think that this is a bar on its own, and I'm like, no, this is an office actually, and they're like, it's an office? What kind of office? What are you doing here? And we're like, oh, it's advertising. And they're always very surprised by that.
Yeah, I can see that for sure.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's very awkward, since someone will come in and Andrea will put out baked goods and stuff in the mornings with the coffee and whatever, and they'll come in and they're just like, oh, hey, it's a bakery. And we're like, it's not actually a bakery. And then they look at the counter, they look at the baked goods, and they're like, hey man, why don't you want me here? Like, what did I do? Why don't you want my business? And we're just like, man, for real, we're not even allowed to sell it to you. I'm sorry, but yeah, it can get awkward sometimes.
Yeah, you take the good with the bad.
Yeah.
Take the good with the bad. I'm sure all in all, it's all good.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
take the good.
Net good.
Net good.
Yeah.
We confirm net good.
Net good.
That's great.
Confirmed net good.
Confirm net good. Put it on we'll have a graphic. Confirm net good. Micky on the bar barista cafe situation.
New tagline for bakery. Confirmed net good.
I love it. I want to wrap this up with 5 just simple questions. Like, I'm going to ask every agency these questions, so this will be interesting to see like how everybody responds. And Micky, I'm going to defer to you. If you want to pass it to somebody else to answer this, that's completely up to you. I'm just going to go to you automatically. Number 1, couple sentences. What is it like working in advertising in Austin right now?
I want to say it depends on where you are. You have a lot of agencies now here. You have networks, and you have a lot of independents. I'm going to assume those two couldn't be more different, right? At the moment, and some of those are, famous mergers that are going on and things like that. So, I know that it's a different environment for sure. But I think overall, it's an incredibly rewarding environment in Austin. Like, you have so much cool stuff, and I think that the agencies themselves we go out of our way to integrate into the community, right? I think like we do a ton of community events. We do our yearly bake sale event, which is it does have baked goods, but it's not just a bake sale. There's a lot of like small vendors come through and like set up here, and they do kind of sell their wares and like interact with the community and things like that. And like we're part of South by Southwest in a big way, and we're part of all these things. And you have agencies like Preacher who have their gallery, and it's a huge congregation point for a lot of artists and designers and just the creative community, in Austin. And I love to go to their gallery events and all that stuff. They're great. And I think like all these agencies are becoming a big part of the community, not just for advertising or marketing or commerce necessarily, but just trying to lift up, I think a community that at times I feel has felt that the city is outgrowing them in some ways and kind of leaving them behind with housing costs and with, sort of a lot of the tech people that have moved in and things like that. It might be feeling a little alien to those folks. And I think the agencies have done a great job. Like we've collectively done a great job, I feel, of just trying to put a little bit of a coat over those folks and be like, no, like there's very much room, and we should find ways of crafting things together, not just for Austin or Texas, but like for our global like clients and other opportunities that might come through.
Love it. And for Hache, how would you describe what it's like to work at Bakery today?
I really appreciate, how nimble is working here. I think also one of the things that I really like about this, and I haven't experienced in other agencies, is how close the Department of Design works with the creative department, which is also cool because you get different point of views, which is also what you have, right? Or you want to create a cool product or a cool idea. So I think I like that, and also I think the most important part in an agency is the people. If you are around with good people, I think it's the key.
And that leads to my next question. What kind of people do the best work at Bakery, would you guys say? I'll leave it at that.
I have an opinion about that for sure.
Opinions. Let's hear it.
I think people that have a chip on their shoulder do really good work here. I think folks that are maybe they have been at a bigger agency and are maybe buried under some layers, of bureaucracy, folks that just like have had amazing ideas but don't have the access to the clients or to even sometimes their own creative directors or anything to go sell those ideas. And they, they might be at a point where they're like I'm going to give one more agency a shot, before like saying this isn't for me. And they come here and they do incredible work. Like they come here and they're just like, wait, there's no games, there's no gimmicks. You're telling me, oh, that's a cool idea. Here, text the client. Like I got their number. Like let's chat with them. And some of them freak out because they're just like, okay, this is a game, this is a test, or whatever. Something's going on. It's like they got like PTSD or something, and you're just like, no, for real. Like it's pretty casual. We believe in the work, and we believe that's good work, so it should be in front of clients. And those folks come here, and you can see them just like, I don't know, flourish, man. Like it's really spectacular. That's to me like consistently. I see folks that come here with like that kind of like I don't know, they're kind of pissed off.
Yeah. Angst.
Yeah, there's a little bit of like teen angst going on. Yeah, maybe some Deftones playing or something when they walk in the door, and like they I don't know, they get like all cuddly after a while because they're just like, all right, yeah, I feel like I'm home, you know. So yeah.
And then how would you guys describe the culture of bakery today?
Well, I'm gonna leave that to you guys.
I mean, to me, it's a great place if you want to. It feels like basically you are working with your friends, but of course, I mean, they are not your friends. I mean, in some ways, kind of are, but it's just like all of them has this hungry just to make the best work that they can do, and that's when you basically feel good about it, because if you have a little bit more experience or something like that, you can guide them. But there is this hungry, you know, like everyone is just aiming for every day just making better ideas and ideas. So I think that's cool. I think that's the vibe of it.
The hunger. And let's go to any thirst.
I think you guys should make a T-shirt.
Something like that.
That was an unbelievable transition by Gina. I don't know if anyone would have caught that.
I think you guys need to make a T-shirt, by the way, that just says it's the hungry. You know, like that Hache's been saying, like it's the hungry.
Yeah,
It's the
like
hungry.
Just make it's the hungry. I think like no, for real. I'm like I would wear that. That's a good shirt.
Any things to add here about the culture that you've seen from behind the bar?
I think there's a lot of community here. We're pretty close knit. A lot of people come here to meet, to work together. They come early, they stay late. Everybody interacts with each other quite a lot here, and I think that speaks to the culture that we have at Bakery.
Freaking awesome.
Yeah.
Anything else you guys want to add? Feeling good.
I'm feeling good.
Maybe it's these the
think it's the
tikis.
drink.
It could be the tiki mango margarita frozen mixture.
They're making me a little duller than I was earlier.
Fantastic.
Cool. All right. How can people learn more? If they want to work with you guys or they want to work for you, where should they go?
I mean, we have a website like most places do, you know, bakery.agency. And yeah, they can just very easily hit us up. And yeah, we're looking to work with any cool people out there that are ambitious, that are, you know, I would say they don't wake up and the first thing on their mind is AI, you know, or something like that. It's more, I want to just make something special, and that's what we want to do, and we want to kind of lose ourselves in that work a little bit if we can. And unfortunately, that might get rarer and rarer as we go, you know, with like big holiday AI ads coming out as soon, you know, just today and all that stuff, and like being horrendous. But yeah,
Talk about Coca-Cola, ladies and gentlemen.
hey man, I didn't say anything. I was like, what, Coca-Cola put out an ad? It's cool. But no, for me, like, definitely want to work with just the folks that are a little old school, you know, in a way. And that doesn't mean, like, for example, we don't understand AI or don't use it here or don't use technology. We do a lot. Like, we've always been a little bit on the forefront of those things here, but we're also very cognizant of how much that is a tool, and the minds of the people and the spirit of the people that are doing that work is always going to be the most important thing. And that's what we focus on, that's what we invest on, is keeping that group of people like in that right mind frame, you know, in that right emotional status where it's like they can produce work that's going to be great. And you can't do it alone. You need really good partners on the other side of the aisle on this, and that's who we're looking to talk to all the time.
No. Bakery, confirmed, net good.
Confirm that good.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.